Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. I am Mr. KUMAR NAYAK, lecturer in English. Now we will start from. We will discuss something. Before that, before starting something, we will discuss. Actually, in most of the cases and sections, we have not completed all. But in boys section, I have completed both the prose and the stories, the legend behind the legend, and after 20 years. Am I audible to you? So today we will start again. I think we will start from the legend behind the legend, because some of the students, some of the classes we have not covered yet. So we will start from the legend behind legend. In online classes, I will give just hints and we will also discuss the question answer. Okay. The first we will start from the legend behind the legend. Okay. Perhaps I think you went through the text. The legend behind the legend. First of all, we know what the title suggests and I would like to give a brief detail regarding the title. The legend. What do you mean by legend? Okay. Okay, now we'll see what do you mean by legend. Okay, legend means. Okay, what do you mean by legend? Legend means a story about a very famous person. Or sometimes people are also called the legend, those who have the unusual contribution in their own field of work. Okay, as I am giving an example, Mahatma Gandhi is considered as a legend. Okay, legendary man. Okay, and I would like to tell you one thing here. Only Mahatma Gandhi could not bring the freedom for us. Rather, a lot of freedom fighters were there with him, but he became the legend person, but others were ignored. Because Mahatma Gandhi had an unusual contribution. Unusual contribution means more than what required. Okay, more than what required, more than his contribution he contributed. That is why he became the legend. So the title mentioned two legends here, the legend behind a legend. Now we'll see who were the two legends and why they are termed as a legends. Okay, the writer Harilaal Balakrishnan is a writer and columnist. Harilaal Balakrishnan is a man from Odisha. He was both a writer as well as columnist. Okay, he was a journalist. Okay, columnist. He wrote some articles to be published in the newspaper. This article was published in the literary page of Hindu on 22nd January 2006. Okay, so what I told you, a legend is a story or a narrative about a very famous person, or often the persons are also called legend because those who are having the unusual contribution in their own field of work. Okay, now we'll see who were the two legends, okay, and why they are termed as legends. The two legends. First legend we will know the Mr. Chaudhary. Okay, Mr. Swaraj Chaudhary. Mr. Swaraj Chaudhary was an IFS, Indian Forest, an officer in the IFS, Indian Forest Service was an officer, and he had a lot of contribution, and it is a very appreciable contribution in the field of his own field. Okay, and he was considered to be a legend, and behind him there is a legend, and we will know who is he. And she was no other than Khairi. Okay, Khairi was also considered to be a legend because for Khairi, Jashipur famous was forest. Okay, people are also referred to as legend if they have been unusually successful in their own field of work. And the title mentioned two legends. As I already told you, the title mentioned two legends. The first legend was Mr. Chaudhary, an officer of Indian Forest Service. And the second legend we will see Khairi, okay, and for whom Jashipur is famous, okay. And who are the two legends mentioned in this unit, and why they are termed legend, and what did the author plan to do when he came to know about the two? Okay, we'll see in the text. Okay, so I am requesting to each of you go through the text very carefully. Okay, and I will give the detailed meaning of the words if and it will be difficult for you. Okay, Khairi made the entire forest where she lived famous. Okay, Khairi made the entire forest where she lived famous. As I already told you, Khairi was a domesticated tigress and lived in Jashipur forest of Shimilipal. And for Khairi, Jashipur is famous. And she was not a bandit queen. Okay, as you might think that well, as she is living in a wood or forest, so a bandit queen, not like that. Rather, she was a Khairi, a domesticated tigress of Jashipur. She was no other than, she is not a bandit queen, means queen of robbers. Bandit queen, queen of robbers. Okay, rather she was Khairi, a domesticated tigress. Okay, domesticated tigress, Ruhapalita Bagoni, tigress, a female tiger. It was exactly 25 years ago when I spent 2 days and 2 nights with Khairi and the menageries of Saroj and Bihar. The author says that exactly 25 years before he spent 2 days and 2 nights with Khairi and the menageries of Saroj in Bihar. Saroj Chaudhary, as I already told you, an officer of IFS of Indian Forest Service, and here, okay, his wife. I had read a small news item in the Statesman about the latest exploits of a domesticated tigress in the Similipal forest of Odisha. The author came to know about Khairi. There will be a question for you. Okay, there might be a question for you that how did the author come to know about Khairi? Okay, and you will write the writer came to know about Khairi about from a small news item which was published in a statement about the latest exploitation of a domesticated tigress in Similipal forest of Odisha. Okay. And there will be a question for you, who were the legends and why they are, who were the two legends that mentioned in the title? The two legends that mentioned in the title were Saroj Chaudhary. Saroj Chaudhary, who was an officer in the IFS, Indian Forest Service, and Khairi. Khairi is no other than a domesticated tigress of Similipal forest, and for Khairi, it was the Similipal, the Jashipur forest was famous. Okay, so it was all about we got a little hints about the legends, two legends we are dealing with, and suddenly it struck me that this was happening in my own state. Okay, and when he came to know about Khairi from the news item, he suddenly struck to his mind that if this is happening in own state, this line indicates that the writer belongs to Odisha. There will be a question for you. There will be a question for you. Which state does the writer belong to? Okay, and quote the line in support of your answers. There will be a question for you. Okay, in which state the writer belongs to, and quote the line in support of your answer. The answer will be the writer belongs to Odisha. The line suddenly it struck me that this was happening in own state is a point in the context. Okay, I thought why not attempt to experience it myself. He thought to himself, if the things happen in his own state, why not attempt to experience it himself? So he decided to gather more information regarding Khairi and Mr. Saroj Chaudhary. So he became very interested, very happy, and to know or to gather some information regarding the things, and he wanted to know whether the news article which was published in the newspaper, how far it is true, whether it is true or false. Okay, so he wanted to make an experiment of himself. He decided to go to the spot and to gather some information regarding the newspaper item what he knew from the statement. Okay, and I suppose spoke to N.S. Iyengar, a senior journalist in Berhampur. He spoke to N.S. Iyengar. N.S. Iyengar was a senior journalist in Berhampur. He was one of the prominent journalists of his time and very good educator, a journalist, okay, in Berhampur and a few other elders. The writer also talked to few elders because as N.S. Iyengar was a journalist, he thought that he must have some idea regarding the news which has been published in the newspaper. So he asked to him and some other elders were there. He also contacted them how far the news is true. So he talked to Mr. N.S. Iyengar, a senior journalist, and a few other elders to know whether there is a truth, if there is a truth in the newspaper item or not. Then I was told it is in the passive form. Okay, I was told when people say to him that or with whom he talked to. With him he talked to like Mr. N. Iyengar and other few elders. They told that Kyle was under the care of rather gruff and tough man called Saraj Chaudhary. When he asked the people, asked Mr. N.S. Iyengar and other elders, they say to him that no need to be worried. Now, Khairi has already been rescued and now she is under the care of a rather gruff and tough man. Gruff and tough man in the sense that those are very reserved. Those are very reserved and having a very strong attitude. This type of men are gruff and tough men. And Swaraj Chaudhary, his name was Swaraj Chaudhary, who brook no nonsense. Brook no nonsense. Means it is another term, you should know the meaning. Brook no nonsense means he did not tolerate stupidity in others. Okay, he did not the man who accept the nonsense things with others. Okay, he was very serious in his activity as well as in his attitude and suffered no fool. He did not like to tolerate the stupidity in others. Very serious to his profession and very straightforward. Okay, look no nonsense and suffered no fool. Okay, you will get it. Look no nonsense in the okay, now we get the meaning. Look no tolerate only important and necessary things. Suffer no fool in the sense don't tolerate stupidity in others. Was very strict. He was very strict to his principles. Okay, he did not like to tolerate any nonsense things. Okay, and he only accept the important and necessary things, and do not tolerate stupidity with others. Okay. Now you got I was told means the author was told means people told to the author that Saraj is Khairi was has already been rescued. Khairi has already been rescued and now she was under the care of a gruff and soft man. Okay, very sincere to his duty, very reserved man. And Mr. Saraj Chaudhary was a man up like that. He and who brook no nonsense. As I already told you, brook no nonsense means he did not tolerate us. Okay, and he only tolerate the important necessary things and brook no nonsense in the sense he did not like to tolerate the stupidity in others. Okay, that means it all in one line we can say that it was a man with strict to his principles, very reserved and very strict to his principles and did not like to accept the stupidity, nonsense things in others. I got his address and wrote asking if I could visit him. So as I already told you, the author Balkistan wanted to know more information regarding Khairi and Saraj Chaudhary. So he tried his level best to get his address and he got his address and wrote a letter to Mr. Chaudhary asking his permission because he wanted to go there. Okay, that is why he got the address and he wrote a letter to him asking his permission and he wrote in his letter that I want to meet you if you will give me permission then I will be there and I will chat with you. Okay, and when he asked the permission he wrote the letter. For good measure I referred to a few in articles I had written for Indian magazines. Okay, and along with the letter, he also tagged some of the articles what he had been written for the. As I already told you, he used to write the magazine, the articles for Indian magazines on the wildlife and other aspects. So he had some articles. Okay, what he had written for the Indian magazine, and he referred some of the article along with the letter and sent it to the Mr. Chaudhary to impress him. To impress him. So, why? And there will be a question: why the writer referred some of the articles to Mr. Chaudhary? You will write Mr. Chaudhary, the author, wrote some of tagged some of his article with his letter to Mr. Chaudhary to impress him, and perhaps he wanted to let him know that he was also one of the greatest lover of wildlife. That is why he referred to a few Indian articles he had written for the Indian magazines along with his letter. It was a shoot in the dark. It was a shoot in the dark. It was a shoot in the dark. Shoot in the dark in the sense, you know the meaning, okay? Shoot in the dark is a hopeful attempt because he did not expect that Mr. Chaudhary would allow him to visit. Okay, and he thought that he is an IPS, he is an A-class officer, whether he had time to spare with others or not. So he was not sure, but wrote a letter to him. It was a shoot in the dark, means hopeful attempt. Not sure whether he would be permitted to, or he would be allowed to meet Mr. Chaudhary or not. That is why he said it was a shoot in the dark. And I did not really expect to hear from him. The author said that I did not really expect, he did not think that he would give some time or allow him, or he wrote a letter to him asking, giving his permission. Because he stood in the dark in the sense, it was a hopeful attempt. Because he was not sure whether he would give the permission to meet him or not. I did not really expect to hear from him. The writer was not sure whether he would give the permission to meet him. That is why he said, I did not really expect to hear from him. But to my utter delight, I got a letter within a week inviting me to Khaire Jashipur. However, within a week, Saraj Chaudhary replied his letter. He did not only reply whether he gave a precise instruction about how to reach there. Okay, he thought himself because he was an IFS, okay, Indian Forest Service. He had a lot of responsibilities to take care of. So he was not sure whether he will be permitted to go and meet him. That is why I was a shoot in the dark and I did not really expect to hear from him. But to my utter delight means happiness. And I got a letter within a week. Only within a week, he got a letter from Mr. Chaudhary and inviting me to Khari Kashipur. Mr. Chaudhary, Saraj Chaudhary invited him to go there and to pay his visit. Okay, giving a precise instructions about how to reach there. He not only replied the letter, rather he wrote a precise instruction. Precise means brief instructions about how to reach there. Check empty punch way, quote because he was also completely new to the area. So, okay, he also gave a precise means sankipta. Okay, brief instructions how to reach there. Mr. Chaudhary also asked me to let him know in advance how and when I was reaching. Okay, in the letter, he also requested one more thing to the author. Mr. Chaudhary requested one more thing to author. Okay, to let him know in advance before Aguru how and when I was reaching. Accordingly, he would manage everything, he would take care of everything. That is why he asked and requested the author to let him know in advance, so before. Okay, in advance, when and how I was reaching. He was also requested to let him know. Okay. I gave him a date and said I would be taking a bus from Bhubaneswar on a particular night. Okay. Then the author gave him a date and they also let him know that on that particular night he would catch a bus from Bhubaneswar, okay, to Jashpur. Okay, it was the first unit of the legend behind the legend. Now we'll go through the question and answer. We have to answer the questions, okay? And who is Khairi? The first question is who is Khairi? Okay, you will write Khairi is a domesticated female tiger. Domesticated female tiger lived in Jashipur, and Jashipur was famous for Khairi. Okay. Again, I will repeat the answer. Khairi is a female, a domesticated female tiger or a tigress who lived in Jashipur forest of Simlipal of Odisha, and Jashipur forest was famous for Khairi. Then the second question, how did the writer come to know about Khairi? We have already discussed the question. Now I am again repeating the question answer. The writer came to know about Khairi from a news item which was published in the Statesman. Okay. Again, I repeat the answer. The writer came to know about Khairi from a news item which was published in the newspaper The Statesman. Okay. The third question is who was the first father of Khairi? The first father of Khairi was Mr. Saurabh Chaudhary, an officer of Indian Forest Service. Then question number 4, which state does the writer belongs to? It is given the paragraph second. The writer belongs to Odisha. Okay. Again, there may be a question that quote the line in support of answer. The line, okay, it suddenly stuck to my mind. It suddenly stuck to my mind. Suddenly stuck to mean that this was happening in my own state. Is a point in the context. Okay. Again, I repeat the answer. The which state does the writer belong to? The writer belongs to Odisha. The line suddenly it struck me that this was happening in my own state is a point in the context. Question number 5. What did he learn about Saurabh Chaudhary as a person? The author learned about Saurabh Chaudhary as a person that he was a gruff and rough man. He broke no nonsense and suffered no fool. Means he was a man who did not tolerate stupidity and nonsense, unimportant thing in others. Rather, he only tolerated the important and necessary things, and he did not like to accept the stupidity in others. Okay. Again, I repeat the answer. Mr. Bahadur Balakrishnan or the writer learned about Saurabh Chaudhary as a person that he was a rough and rough man who did not tolerate stupidity and nonsense thing in others. How did he contact Mr. Chaudhary? The writer contacted Mr. Chaudhary by writing a letter to him, or the writer wrote a letter to Mr. Chaudhary to contact him. Both the answers correct. He contacted Mr. Chaudhary by writing a letter. Otherwise, you can write the author wrote a letter to Mr. Chaudhary to contact him. Question number 7. Why did he refer some of his article to Mr. Chaudhary? We have already discussed the question during the teaching lesson. Okay. Then we will write he or the writer referred some of his articles to Mr. Chaudhary. Some of his articles to Mr. Chaudhary to impress him, and he wanted to know. Let him to know. Let Saurabh Chaudhary to know he was also one of the greatest lover of wildlife. Okay. Again, I repeat the answer. He referred some of his articles to Mr. Chaudhary because he wanted to let Mr. Chaudhary to know that he was also one of the greatest lover of wildlife. Besides, he also wanted to impress him. Did Mr. Chaudhary reply to the author's letter? Yes. Yes, Mr. Chaudhary replied to the author's letter. What did he write? He will write Mr. Chaudhary replied to the author's letter. He wrote a precise instruction about how to reach there. He also requested the author. He also requested the author to let him know in advance where and when and how he was reaching there. Let me repeat once more the answer. Mr. Chaudhary, yes, there will be comma. Mr. Chaudhary replied to the author's letter within a week. The second question is, what did he write? He wrote a precise instruction about how to reach there. In his letter, he also requested. In his letter, he also requested to let him know in advance when and how he was reaching there. Okay, it was all about the unit 1 of the legend behind legend. That is along with the question answer. We will start the second unit. This is the second unit. Okay. I packed my bag. The author decided to go. He got an invitation from Mr. Chaudhary. Okay. The writer got an invitation from Mr. Chaudhary. So he started his preparation to go. He was ready to go there. So I packed my bag. He took all his luggage. Took the train. He took a train from his native place to Bhubaneswar and boarded the overcrowded bus from Bhubaneswar. Okay, there will be a question, or you may be asked a question that how did Mr. Chaudhary come to Bhubaneswar? The answer will be the writer came to Bhubaneswar. The writer came to Bhubaneswar by a train and boarded the overcrowded bus from Bhubaneswar. Okay, the second question will be how did the writer go to Jashipur from Bhubaneswar? Okay, yes, it is given in the text. The writer took an overcrowded bus from Bhubaneswar to go to Jashipur. Okay, so the author packed all his luggage, took the train from his native place, and he went to Bhubaneswar. From Bhubaneswar, he took an overcrowded bus to go to Jashipur. Okay, I arrived sometimes before 4 a.m. wondering where to go in the semi-darkness. Okay, and the author reached the Jashipur bus stand at around 4 o'clock in the early morning. It was still semi-darkness, and as he was completely new to the place, he had no idea where he was to go and when and how to go. Because it was his first visit to Mr. Chaudhary, he had no idea regarding the place and the person where was Mr. Chaudhary staying. That is why he was wondering, he was thinking where to go and how to go. To my utter surprise, he became surprised. Within a minute, there was a click of boots. When he heard the click of boots, somebody was coming towards him. A voice welcoming me to Khairi Jashipur. And he was also listened and he heard a voice. Somebody was welcoming him to Khairi Jashipur. Okay, and the person was coming towards him with a voice, welcome to Khairi Jashipur, welcome to Khairi Jashipur, by saying like that. Okay, and he was no other than he was the first guard. He was the first guard appointed by Mr. Saraj Chaudhary to detail and escort him. The first guard detailed means appointed and the Saraj Chaudhary gave detailed information regarding the other, and he also instructed him to receive him from the bus stop. Okay, the person who came to the bus stop to receive the author was the first guard, and he was being detailed by Mr. Chaudhary to escort with guide. Okay, to guide him. Okay, from the bus stop to the guest house. The first guard detailed to escort me took me to the guest house and put me in my room. The first guard received the author from the bus stop when he was wondering where to go and how to meet Mr. Chaudhary. Okay, and he took the author to the guest house and put him in the room and assured that the water was in the jug. He also assured him no need to be worried. He can take rest as long as he want. Okay, and he also assured that water was in the jug. Along with he one more thing assured him, I could sleep as long as I wanted. He also said to the author that he could sleep as long as he wanted, and Saab means his owner, his boss, okay, Mr. Saurabh Chaudhary, would see me as soon as I was ready. He assured that he could take rest as long as he wanted. When he will be ready, Mr. Chaudhary will come. Otherwise, he will go to him and meet him. Okay. I think I had an hour blissful sleep. The author said that he think perhaps he slept for only 1 hour. Blissful means sound sleep. Okay, undisturbed sleep. Okay, I think I had an hour of undisturbed sleep. I woke off means get out of sleep. Got out of his sleep with a start. Okay, suddenly he got out of his sleep. I woke up with a start when I heard the unmistakable, not mistakable, unmistakable, correct. Unmistakable voice of a tiger just outside my door. Okay, the writer was sleeping. Perhaps he slept for only 1 hour. He woke up from his sleep with a start. Suddenly, he woke up from his sleep when he heard an unmistakable, the exact sound of a tiger, the roaring of a tiger just outside the door. I was terror struck. Terror struck in the sense he shocked greatly. Okay, he got afraid of. I was terror struck. Within a minute, a bearer came to the room with hot tea and biscuit. Perhaps it was the first time the author heard a unmistakable voice of a tiger just outside the door. That is why he was afraid of, and he was terror struck. He started to tremble. Sick. He started to sick. Okay, within a minute, a bear came to the room. Bear means the attendant or peon. Okay, a bear came to him, okay, with tea and hot tea and biscuits. He come with snacks with him, and when he saw the expression on the face of the writer, he smiled at him. Okay, he smiled at the expression on my face. When the bearer saw the expression on his face, he smiled at him. And he also thought that perhaps the new guest, okay, who came for the first time, was afraid of when he heard the sound of the tiger. That is why he smiled at him and assured, okay, promised that it was only Khari outside the door. He assured him not to be afraid of Pepe, and he is no other person she is no other than the Kairi, and she is a domesticated tigress. She does not do any harm to others. So the attendant or the bearer assured the writer and also committed him and promised him not to be afraid of. And he said that it is only Kairi outside the door. And making a fairly inquiries about the new guest in the house. Okay, he said that Khairi is making a friendly inquiries about the new guest in the house. Who is the guest? Who came here? And why is coming? Why he came here? He was making some inquiries about the new guest. So he assured the writer not to be afraid of. Okay, and he is only Khairi outside the door. Khairi was a domesticated tigress. She does not do any harm to others. Okay, then the author finished his tea, I finished my tea and had a quick shower, means had his bath quickly, went to the main house to meet Mr. Chaudhary. Okay. Then the author finished his tea, okay, and had a quick shower, he had his bath and went to the main house to meet Mr. Chaudhary. Okay. When he approached him, when he reached the Mr. Saurabh Chaudhary, when he reached Saurabh Chaudhary's house, Saurabh Chaudhary was sitting on a large chair. Okay, he was sitting in a large chair. There was a sloth bear behind him. And he was spending some time with the bear. Okay, there was a sloth bear behind him, holding on his waist. The bear held his waist from his behind and making gurgling sound. He was roaring at that time. Okay, when the author saw Mr. Chaudhary, when Mr. Chaudhary saw the author, he stood off and said, "Get down, Jammu, get down." Okay, the name of the bear was Jammu. Okay, and when Mr. Chaudhary saw the author, he said to Jammu to get down, and he rose from his chair. He was sitting on a large chair, as I already told you. He rose from his chair to greet him and he welcomed him. Okay, and when the author saw Mr. Chaudhary, he found that a frail means a thin man, in his 50s, from 51 to 59 years. Okay, it means 50 to 60 years old, slightly balding at the top, slightly balding, slightly cleaned. Okay, on his head, we got talking. They started to talk each other. They started to attack each other, and I didn't find a gruff and gruff, no nonsense man. What he learned from the people about Sarwar Chaudhary before he meet him, but when he saw him from the close, he did not find anything like gruff and gruff man. Okay, and people said that he is a grown and top man, known to no nonsense, upon no fools, and he proved everything wrong. What he listened from the people, exactly it was not what he really was. There was a great difference what he listened from people and exactly what he really was. Okay, that is why the author said that I did not find a gruff and rough, no nonsense man. What I found, what the author found that he was one of the most human being. Human being showing kindness to people and very kind to others. Mr. Chaudhary was a very kindful man, a human being with almost all the good characteristics, a human characteristics. He was very kind and very caring to both human being as well as the animals. Okay, so the author said that what the people said, okay, he was a gruff and rough man, no nonsense man, but the author did not find anything like that. What he found that Mr. Chaudhary was one of the most human being. Human in the sense, the person or the human being with all the good characteristics, or the exact meaning of human is showing kindness or very caring to people as well as animals. Okay,